wealthy old man once said, "If you want to control people, keep them addicted to today." Most people never understood what that meant. But one boy did. His name was Adrian. He grew up in a crowded neighborhood where survival was more common than dreams. Every street carried stress. Every house carried pressure. People worked hard. Some worked 2 jobs. Yet almost everyone stayed stuck in the same place, year after year. As a child, Adrian believed poor people suffered because they lacked money. But as he grew older, he discovered something darker. Many people were not only poor in money, they were poor in thinking. And the most dangerous habit among them was this: short-term thinking. Curiosity. Adrian started noticing strange patterns everywhere. His cousin bought expensive shoes while struggling to pay rent. His uncle spent hours gambling every weekend, but complained about never having opportunities. One of his friends dreamed of becoming rich someday, yet wasted entire nights scrolling social media and sleeping all day. Everyone wanted success, but nobody wanted sacrifice. Nobody wanted patience. One evening, Adrian asked his grandfather, "Why do people destroy their future for temporary happiness?" The old man looked at him carefully. Then he said quietly, "Because pain today feels stronger than pain tomorrow." Adrian stayed silent. His grandfather continued, "When people spend their whole lives surviving, they stop thinking long term. Survival trains the mind to chase immediate relief." That sentence changed Adrian forever, because suddenly he understood something important. Most people were not planning for the future. They were escaping the present. At 19, Adrian started working in a warehouse. The job was exhausting, but the real lesson came from observing people. Every payday looked exactly the same. For 2 days, everyone acted rich. Online shopping, fast food, parties, alcohol, new phones bought with borrowed money. Then, 1 week later, complaints returned. Life is unfair. We never get lucky. Rich people have easier lives. Adrian listened carefully. Nobody talked about learning skills. Nobody talked about building something. Nobody talked about patience. They only talked about spending. One worker named Kevin always laughed at Adrian. "You save too much," he said. "Enjoy your life. Tomorrow isn't guaranteed." Everyone agreed with him, and honestly. For a moment, Adrian doubted himself. Maybe discipline was useless. Maybe enjoying the present was smarter. But then one night, Adrian saw Kevin asking others for money just to buy groceries. And suddenly, the truth became clear. Short-term pleasure creates long-term suffering. But long-term sacrifice creates freedom. Most people choose what feels good now. Very few choose what helps later. And life quietly rewards the second group. Adrian changed his routine. While others wasted evenings on entertainment, he spent nights learning online skills. While his friends bought expensive clothes, Adrian bought books. While others tried to look successful, Adrian tried to become valuable. People mocked him constantly. "Why are you working so hard? You think you're smarter than everyone?" Life is meant to be enjoyed. But Adrian discovered another psychological truth. People often attack discipline because it reminds them of their own lack of discipline. The more focused he became, the more uncomfortable people became around him. One friend finally got angry and said, "You act like you're better than us." Adrian calmly replied, "No, I just don't want to stay the same forever." The room became silent, because deep down, everyone understood exactly what he meant. Months passed, then years. Slowly, Adrian's life started changing. Not dramatically, not overnight, but little by little. His money stopped disappearing. His confidence improved. His thinking became calmer. His skills became stronger. New opportunities appeared. Meanwhile, many people around him stayed trapped in the same cycle. Work, spend, complain, repeat. Adrian realized something powerful. Poor thinking is emotional. Successful thinking is strategic. Poor thinking asks, what feels good today? Strategic thinking asks, what improves my future? That one difference changes entire lives. One day, Adrian met an old businessman during a late-night bus ride. The man wore simple clothes, but carried unusual confidence. After hours of conversation, the businessman suddenly asked, "Do you know why most people never escape poverty?" Adrian answered quietly, "Because they think short-term?" The businessman smiled slightly. "That's only part of the answer." Then he leaned closer and said, "People become addicted to fast rewards." Adrian listened carefully. The man continued, "Social media, gambling, junk food, endless entertainment, shopping, all of it trains the brain to seek instant dopamine. Then, when real success demands patience, people quit." That sentence hit Adrian hard, because suddenly, modern life made sense. Everything around people was designed to destroy patience, and without patience, long-term success becomes impossible. The businessman then told Adrian something even darker. The system does not fear intelligent people. It fears disciplined people. Adrian frowned. The businessman explained, "A distracted population is easier to control. If people remain addicted to comfort and entertainment, they never build power." For days, Adrian could not stop thinking about those words, because everywhere he looked, he saw distraction. People escaping reality every hour, scrolling endlessly, buying things they did not need, chasing pleasure while their future quietly collapsed. And the worst part, most of them never noticed it happening. Years later, Adrian finally escaped the life he once feared, not because of luck, not because someone saved him, but because he slowly became different from his environment. He learned patience, discipline, long-term thinking, delayed gratification. One evening, he returned to his old neighborhood. Almost nothing had changed. The same stress, the same excuses, the same dreams with no action. Then Adrian saw Kevin again, the same man who once mocked his discipline. But Kevin looked exhausted now, older, angry, defeated by life. After talking for a while, Kevin suddenly asked, "Tell me honestly, what was your secret?" Adrian looked at him quietly. Then he answered, "I stopped chasing things that only made me feel rich for one day." Kevin lowered his eyes. For the first time in years, he had nothing to say. Then he whispered softly, "I wasted too many years chasing temporary happiness." Adrian looked around the neighborhood again, and suddenly he understood something painful. Most people are not destroyed by lack of opportunity. They are destroyed by repeated bad habits. Tiny decisions, repeated for years, become destiny. That night, Adrian walked through the streets where he grew up, and he noticed something disturbing. Poor neighborhoods often sell temporary escape everywhere. Cheap pleasure, cheap entertainment, cheap distractions. But almost nobody teaches patience. Nobody teaches delayed gratification. Nobody teaches long-term thinking. Society keeps people distracted, then laughs when they never grow. That was the real trap. Later that night, Adrian wrote these words into his notebook. "Weak minds chase relief. Strong minds chase freedom." The difference sounds small, but it changes everything. If you only chase comfort today, tomorrow will control your life. If you sacrifice today, tomorrow becomes yours. The dangerous part about short-term thinking is that it feels harmless. Wasting time feels harmless. Buying useless things feels harmless. Avoiding discipline feels harmless. But years later, those small choices become your entire future. Success is rarely one giant moment. Failure is rarely one giant mistake. Life changes through repeated habits, repeated decisions, repeated thinking, every single day. Most people wait for motivation, but motivation disappears quickly. Identity is more powerful. When someone starts believing, I am a person who thinks long-term, everything changes. Their habits change. Their mindset changes. Their future changes. Before sleeping, Adrian wrote one final sentence. Poor people are not destroyed by money first. They're destroyed by habits that make the future invisible. And maybe that is the biggest difference between successful people and unsuccessful people. One sacrifices today to own tomorrow. The other sacrifices tomorrow to enjoy today.